Way I was perceiving things, the perception that I had on stuff and perspectives that I was giving. I had this sole perspective and that was it. And that was my story and I was sticking to it. And I'm the victim. But I was giving power to whoever.
Roll me, Mac.
How do you feel seen amongst your family? Well, I don't feel seen amongst the family. And let me explain that for any family member that's watching this. But the reason why I say I don't feel seen is because I don't really believe it was ever my place. As far as an adult, as a child, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be seen, trying to be funny, all the clown shit I used to do. But like as an adult, I learned, I'm learning that it is my place more so when I am around my family, when I'm, whether that be blood family, whether that be chosen family, whether that be, tribal members, you know what I'm saying, is to show them that they're seen. I no longer require it. And I don't have to do it all the time. But in those moments where I can allow my tribal members to feel seen, I will do that until they no longer have to feel seen as well. It's like an accomplishment to get to mentally, where you no longer feel the need for certain types of validation. I'm grateful for it. But yeah, with the family, no, I don't believe necessarily that I am the focus. At one point, I thought I was. I really did think I was the focus, but everybody got their own problems. Everybody worry about themselves, you know what I'm saying? They're too busy trying to jump in front of the stage and be the lead singer. Everybody want to be Bobby Brown, And with that being said, and a family of Bobby Browns, it's all right to just be whoever that man is in the corner, that's just looking after them. What was it, Ronnie's uncle, Uncle Stro. It's cool to just be him. He looked after all of them. He kept them going. You know what I'm saying? Gave them what they needed to perform. It gave them what they needed to go out there and put on the best show that they can do. Obviously when they were younger. And if you know the movie, you see, and if you know in real life, they kind of got the egos got the best of them, which happens to us all. But I prefer that role, right? I prefer that background, watching everyone else find their powers type thing, whatever it is, their niche is, whatever the thing is, and just sitting back and just observing and in amazement, really. It's just to see what the various skills that this family has, and different personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like comedy, I told you, that's it's constant. Comedy is constant for people that have gone through pain and trauma. Comedy is something that is very close, and you've learned to laugh your way through shit. And I can appreciate that. I've appreciated that in more ways than one. Better than I thought I would in my life. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I've obtained knowledge which has allowed me to fight a lot of battles that I thought that I needed other people to help me fight them. And these battles were all inside. It's all inside my head. The way I was perceiving things, the perception that I had on stuff, and perspectives that I was giving. I had this sole perspective, and that was it. And that was my story, and I was sticking to it. And I'm the victim. But I was giving power to whoever I was playing the victim, in the storyline. I was giving that other person power over me. And I'm grateful to be working on taking all that power back, and also reserving that power, and recognizing that I am in charge of my happiness, man. And so wild how you can be triggered. Yeah, you get triggered, and then the trigger is almost like it's making somebody else responsible for your happiness, and you have to choose it. Anger is a choice response, sadness is a choice response, all of that. But I no longer have to do that. I no longer have to wait for somebody to save me. I can get up on my own 2 feet. I can take the hits. I can get back up after taking the hits and just keep moving forward, man. It's tough. Yeah, it's challenging. Sure. Yeah, it's challenging, but it is necessary. It's necessary to stand in your shit. Not stay in it. Stand in it enough, and go through it, learn from it, and move forward. And realize that you're in control of yourself and nobody else. You have no control over what anybody else does, man. As much as we want to control our outside environment, which is the trauma response, we're not in control. So I just do my best to show people that I value their power, the things that they're able to do, that they don't require other people in order to obtain said goals, if that makes sense. They can, don't get me wrong, there are some things where, yeah, it's helpful to have people around you. But a lot of those mental battles is something that you fight within. And you have enough. You are enough to do it. You're not incomplete. You're not broken. You're fine just the way you are. And you can overcome this, as you overcome many things before. Feelings are seasons. 1 minute you are happy about something. Next minute you're sad about something. Next minute you're anxious about something. Next minute you're laughing about something. It's constantly evolving and revolving too, because they come back around, But the power's within you. So I like to do my best to show the family my way of doing that, when I can talk with them and just allow them to feel seen, heard, and loved, and just to talk with them. It's a joy to do that. It's a joy to learn and watch the your younger cousins and see them, and then they share the things that they're interested in. Because if anybody's going to tell you what they like, it's a child, it's a younger kid, So to see the things that they find to be interesting, and the gifts and the creativity that they come up with, or the skill sets, the showing, different, basketball, how well they've worked on their game, how tall they've gotten, their form, all of that is a joy to see. To learn from your aunt, from your aunts and uncles, seeing them, listening to them, and finding out what their interests are, the things that they're into, not knowing that your aunt was into baseball, or whatever it is that your grandma likes to make ice cream, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, allowing them to feel seen to me is more important than me feeling seen. I'm learning, and I've learned me being seen is not that, to me, is not that important anymore. From an external standpoint. Internally, yes, I have to see myself. I have to love myself unconditionally. I have to see myself as I'm not the mask that I bear. I'm not the ego that I use from time to time to help me get through things. I am merely a soul behind it all. I'm a human being. That's it. And with that being said, it does not require me to feel seen by anybody else. It's not that important. I'm not that important for that. I have problems just like everybody else, and it's all small from space. Sometimes you just gotta detach yourself and look at things and be like, you know what? I'm making this more in my head than it is in reality, which is commonly what we do. But I do not feel the, as far as like how I feel seen by my family, I don't feel seen by my family, but I also don't require it anymore. It was never something that was needed to be loved. We all were lovable the entire time. It's just how things work. But I don't need to feel seen. But I have no problem making others feel seen. What are your thoughts on your evolution as a man? Well, I look back when I left for the military. I left straight out of high school. Not straight after high school, but maybe 6 months after. I was in the delayed enlistment program, right? And I left for the military. I was a kid. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to survive. I had no idea how to make money. I didn't understand the way a paycheck, a constant paycheck, other than the little checks that I was getting from my McDonald's and Hex days, in Chesapeake Square and Churchland McDonald's, right? And back home in the 757. But like, I was so I was green. I was very green about things. All I wanted to do was do whatever it is that they taught us to do for the job and basic training in tech school, and then go back to my room and play video games until it was time to go get something to eat. That's really all my mindset was settled. I didn't know about saving money. I didn't know about financial literacy. I didn't know about trying to pay off a car or trying to get cheaper insurance with the best rates and all that stuff. I was just figuring things out, and I had a little help. I had a little help with growing up a little bit from my daughter. I found out that I was a father, and when I found out about it, it scared the hell out of me, as I've shared before. But not so much like I was afraid of responsibility, more so like, what do you do? How do from here, what is my role? What am I to do? Do I just give money? Is it about, making trips and stuff like that whenever the military can, provide that opportunity for me? So I did the best I could. A lot of the raising, I would say, was done more so by the mother of my child, God rest her soul. And of course, my family, they spent more time, especially in those crucial years, beginning years with my daughter, than I did. I saw her as much as I could, being in the military. But I was just learning what it meant to be. It meant to be responsible. That from that point on, like, before I knew about my kid, I was trying to get the hell out of the military. I really was. I was trying to get out of the military because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was ready to quit, which is a common thing that I would do throughout my life is when things got too challenging, I got to get the hell out. And it's fear. It's fear. You're dealing with challenge and you don't really know what to do. You're afraid of failure because you don't think you'll be loved if you fail, because that's somehow what life taught you. But I was able to stick with it. And I'm glad that I did, because it gave me a foundation of how to start life as a man. And I look at like the playful things I used to do. I would be, try to show like chivalry and being nice to the girls, whatever girl I was seeing, opening doors and all of that shit. But when it came to conflict, I would become a child and I would shut down. I would wait for somebody to help regulate my emotions versus me knowing how to do that. And I mean, when you're young, the girls, they'll do that because that's what they're used to. And then after a while, it gets old. And then they have to look elsewhere. Hypergamy, hypergamy is undefeated, man. It will forever be undefeated. Is this my best option? And that will forever be the question, of hypergamy. Is this my best option? So I would I would go through breakups and then I would describe it as abandonment, but it was actually finding what was best for them based off of what I was doing, what I was giving off. And I understand that now at 40. I understand that. And that's for anybody that may go through that, with me or whoever. I understand when you find something that is better for where you are in life and having the courage to let go so that you can, let go of what's weighing you down so that you can fly. That's a key component of progress, progression, evolving. So I had to continue to go through this entitlement phase that I was never taught how to deal with these emotions. But I went through life as a victim in my 20s of just feeling mad at the world, saying fuck the world, straight Tupac mindset. And I was just gonna be buck wild. I was gonna go out, I make my money, of course, do the job that I was responsible enough to do my job and all those things. But when I was off work, fuck that, let's get it on. And that's where I was with that. I was like, yo, I am going to have my fun, but I wasn't going to build anything. I was afraid to get close to anyone for fear of abandonment. And you learn that as a man. And it took a while, man. Like even my friend group, I look at my, like the relationship I have with my best friend. Initially, I was very much afraid, for anyone to get close to me, even as a friend. And I had some moments where I've, kind of reacted emotionally and not in the best sound way, but it's all I knew. And that's something to accept, is that we're doing the best we can with where we are. And so I look back at that person and I hugged them. I hugged little Rome, and the fear, how afraid he was in those moments, man. And it's tough, it is tough to overcome those things, and no one really to teach you how to do that. So a lot of times you project your insecurities onto people, not knowing that you're trying to get them to fix you, but it's your job to fix you. So I look at those 20s, and as a man, like I said, I knew that man had to provide. I knew man had to work. I knew man had to pay bills. I knew man had to take care of things. So I would try to take care of like something my brother would have in high school. I'm a couple of years, I'm like 7.5 years older than my brother. So some things going on in high school, a trip to England. All right, fine. We'll chip in with mom and dad and ensure that he can get and go to that. Anything else going on in the family, trying to buy various gifts for, family members because I'm not able to be there. So it's like, all right, now this has become the replacement. Amazon has become my friend. Amazon was my presence. It was like literally my presence So what I would do is just send, gifts, and that became like a thing where, all right, it's Mom's birthday. All right, let's go all out. Let's do this. Let's go. Let me try to prove my ego and buy her as much gifts as I could, excessively. And same for Mother's Day, of course. Mother's Day, just being just all kind of shit. Just being sent out. Some stuff I'm sure Mom didn't even use, but that's what I thought it meant to be a man. You were to take care of your parents. You were to buy them all the stuff that you thought they needed, not what they thought they needed. And that was a challenge for me, because I was trying to give them everything. Like, I was trying to do what they did. They wanted to give me everything that they didn't have, and I was trying to return that favor. I was trying to give them everything that I didn't have, but I didn't take into account the things that I tried to get them that they didn't have, that they didn't want it. and I would say the same thing for them at times. There's many times where my father bought me shit, as a kid, and even in high school, that he thought I might want, but I didn't. So like, if you don't accept a gift, it comes off as like you're being ungrateful. But I didn't ask for it, and I didn't want this shit. I don't like it, something like that. But that's not to say that the gift, the idea, the thought that my father had wasn't appreciated. The fact that he would do that, it was more so like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, these colors and shit. Like, I don't have anything in my closet that goes with this shit. Like, I don't have anything to do that. But I was also buying them gifts that I was thinking about myself. It was ego based. I was buying them gifts, and then that's how it would be. I would buy them gifts, and I would wait for the praise. Like, it was a conditional thing. It was very much conditional love, in a sense of receiving the praise. Now, the gift itself was unconditional, but waiting for the praise was the conditional part. I wanted to hear that I did a good job. I wanted to know that I was a good son. I wanted to know that I was doing well in life by their standpoint. I wanted their validation so bad. I wanted my family's validation so fucking bad, man. And when I did not get it, I just believed that I wasn't good enough. So it turned me into an egotistical maniac, and I'm just going to become something, instead of just being, I'm going to become this thing, and I'm going to become this superhero. I'm going to try to be there for everybody until I get the validation that I so rightly deserve. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to put everything on my plate, and I'm going to exhaust myself in the process. And like many of us have done, thinking about doing, but that's what I did. And I thought that's what a man was, I thought that's what it meant to be a man. And then I approached my 30s, right? I approached my 30s, and I dealt with a lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of betrayal, a lot of many things, anxiety. I dealt with being triggered. I dealt with toxic ass relationships, and I just endured it. And after a while, it's like, this nice guy shit this shit ain't the way. I keep getting stepped on. So I had to learn what it meant to be good at being a man. Not so much be a man, but what it meant to be good at being a man. And being good at being a man has boundaries, and ensuring that you enforce said boundaries on people. And that's where I found myself today. It's like enforcing all those things that I taught myself over the course of time, and try to share that knowledge with whoever wants to learn it. I mean, you watch the show, obviously, that's what I give. That's my sole purpose, is to teach those who didn't have boundaries growing up, didn't know anything about boundaries, didn't know anything about self-love, I damn sure didn't, to do so now. And we have the tools, we have the knowledge, we have the resources to do so. And when you have something, yes, I recommend to share that knowledge for those that wish to receive it. Some people don't want to hear that shit. And that's okay too. But for those who really want to repair themselves from the inside, there's some insight that can be passed on so that you can learn from that. But I mean, evolving as a man and just seeing yourself, not me personally, me seeing myself as the quiet one in the room, but the presence is felt. He can hold his own in conversation, but he's not there to be the center of attention. More so just to be in the room, make others feel seen, heard, and loved, while also making himself feel seen, heard, and loved. I believe that's the evolution of what it's been, and just trying and doing your best to just be there for those that you value, whoever that is. Family does not come with entitlement. Maybe our kids may feel that way, may come with that, and you can work that out over time. But for the most part, family does not come with entitlement, and that's something that I had to learn as a man too, evolving. That I'm not entitled to my family to be there at my beck and call when I need something, because I thought that's what I had to do for them. It was never my duty to do that. I chose to do that. So there was things I had to learn about just taking care of me and focus on me, and not in a selfish way, but more of building a self-love way, building yourself up so that you don't require to project your insecurities onto anybody else. And that's how I believe I've evolved as a man, is learning to deal with my own shit and do what I can to not project that onto anybody else, and trust yourself first before trusting anybody else. Trust your gut, trust your thoughts. Don't believe all your thoughts. That's the one thing I can say. Don't believe all your thoughts. Your thoughts will lie to you as well. But observe them. Don't absorb them. Just see them in passing, and take what's beneficial for you. Don't use the word against you, as Don Miguel Ruiz says in Four Agreements. But that evolving as a man, there's so much more that comes with that. And yes, you can say running a family is something that is like an involvement of man, and I commend those men that have that, that opportunity, that luxury. And I know for sure there was one point in time that's exactly what I thought I wanted, for sure, to do that. And then I found myself linked up with some of the most toxic personalities that it's almost best that we did not have a kid together, because who knows, that would have been my issue for the rest of my life once that's done. And you learn, you live and you learn. So evolving as a man, many ways evolved as a man, and I'll continue. Best me date you've had so far? The best me date I had was when I went to Jamaica for my boy Joe wedding, right? And they hadn't gotten there yet, so I didn't know anybody. The only person I knew was Joe, outside of I think I met his wife once, probably before that. No, that was the first time I was meeting her. But I got to I had breakfast by myself in the cafeteria. It's like an all-you-can-eat type thing. And I got to walk, outside, along the shoreline. And then they had a pier where you can just sit and read. And I remember reading The Free Agent Lifestyle by Coach Greg Adams. I mean, that was the book I was reading when I went there. Really good read, by the way. But I spent most of my time just taking in peace. I had music playing in my headphones. The water was beautiful. The sun was out. And I didn't have my phone. Or did I? No, I didn't have my phone because my stuff was upstairs. I left the phone upstairs. So I didn't even have music. I take that back. I didn't have music. But I was able to just sit out on the pier and just read and take in peace. I think there was a lady and her husband. She was, tanning topless. That was interesting. But, make a scene out of it or point it out. It's just, some titties over there. But it was a calm time. It's just a location. The phone was upstairs. I was living in the present moment. I went, that's when I was kicking ass in the swim up bar trivia too. I was in the pool and just by myself. I didn't know anybody yet. I was just sitting by the pool and they were doing trivia on themes, like TV show theme songs. And my memory is impeccable. And I produce music and I've tried to sample a lot of TV theme songs. So it was Mars versus Venus. They want to do men versus women and we killed them. But it was a good time. I would say that's probably my favorite. That's been my favorite me date so far in Jamaica. What do you feel you've used your love for in this life? I've used love to do many things, man. Right? I've used love to do hurtful things. I've used a person's love and I've intentionally, unintentionally caused pain. They say you hurt the ones you love most, in a sense. Plenty of us have done it. Plenty of us are doing it. And it's figuring out how you treat others is how you treat yourself. So it's like recognizing, man, you don't really love yourself as much as you believe you do. And using said love, you know what I'm saying, like to harm others is like removing your love purposely, knowing it would cause pain, if you will. Don't get me wrong, there's some places where yes, you remove access to you when it's not being appreciated, when it's not being valued, of course, but we're just talking about like someone that's a genuinely nice person and you just feeling yourself, you're in your ego, and you decide that you're going to use that against that person. It's almost like you got a little brother, they're afraid of like horror movies, and you're home, you guys are home alone, and you just put on the loudest horror movie you can find, and just like that person loves you, that kid loves you, but you still want to do that. I mean, typical family shit, right? Love has been used to heal. That's probably my favorite, man. I love that love heals. All of us, and man, we're all fucked up. We all do fucked up shit in some way, shape, or form. But to use that love to heal, the power of the word, and how you approach people, the action behind love, all that. A hug can be so healing, right? A hug can be so healing. And to have those moments with the people that you love, and it's just a great time. Like not seeing family members for a certain amount of time, and regardless of what was the issue the last time, you squash it just to be in the moment with each other, and it's appreciative. It's dope to see friends that you haven't seen in a very long time, to embrace them and watch how much they've grown, see what they've done with their life, and it's amazing. It's amazing, man. Or seeing like that girl you went to high school with, and y'all run across each other in like a store. You know what I mean? Like you run across each other in like a store, and it's like, wow. You've seen them grow up, they got family and all that stuff, but you just embrace that. You use your love to heal. Like, man, I hope everything is okay with you. When somebody reaches out to you from like on Facebook or some shit like that, and somebody that you really was in the trenches with them, y'all had issues, it didn't work out, something like that, and then you just see them doing well with themselves, and they might reach out and say, hey, how are you? Oh, hey, how you doing? I hope everything's okay with you. And that's it. It's not like no devious plot, like I'm gonna get them draws again, none of that. But to use that as an opportunity to share love, not an opportunity to show pain or anything like that, but just to show love to people. I believe it's powerful. You know, when in doubt, choose love. I have to remember that a lot of times. My ego likes to defend pointless battles. Yeah, it likes to defend pointless battles a lot of times. So sometimes it's best that I shut the fuck up. But there's little Rome in me that wants to win, that feels the need, that wants the validation somehow within self that I did this. I mean, many uses of love, man, throughout my life that I've had for it, but definitely healing. Use love to protect. Another thing, man, like understanding what it means, like especially for me the last few years and learning what it means to be, operating masculine. That using love for protection and protecting the feminine, right? And being very protective of the feminine. And it can be challenging when the feminine sometimes wants to act like the fucking masculine, but you understand your duty, your job, regardless if this woman, this girl is operating in, like her masculine around you, be it your family, be it a cousin, be it a, girl or friend, coworker, and all that stuff. It's still your duty as the masculine to protect the feminine to the best of your ability. And it's just a code of conduct that you kind of keep in your mind. And recognizing how powerful calm energy can be, and the level of protection, the level of safety that it gives to those around you, where you don't have to be so loud. You can just be in a space and people just feel protected just because you're there. They feel safe enough to show their true personalities that they probably wouldn't show to the world, but around you they feel safe enough to show their personalities to you. And that's something to be grateful for, that you can bring that out of people. My best friend, T-Dot, she shared that with me. I remember hearing it a few times. She said to me that you're one man that I feel safe around. Initially, when she told me, I didn't understand what that meant. But from listening to accounts from various women since then, as far as like how they felt like they had to be around guys and always, on and shit like that, they feel like to know that safe energy is kind of like they can somewhat take the armor off, or at least a little bit of it, not all of it, but a little bit of the armor, enough to show that they're safe. And I believe that is vital. I believe that's vital in establishing connection. So love used for connection. There it is. Love can definitely help you connect to people. Love can help you, protect. Love heals, but love can also harm. Love doesn't harm, but the mentality of using it, like the way you use the love to harm. And I believe we've all done that in some way, shape, or form throughout our life. And love just got so many uses. I like to believe that I use it to the best of my ability to be most effective, and not try to make it, I do my best to live every day without making shit about me. My ego and little Rome, though, they still like to make appearances from time to time. So it's like trying to keep that in check and managing your emotions and not allowing these insecurities that you have on the inside to get out. You can have them, you can have the thoughts, but just don't act on them. So it's a process, right? It's a process. But I've used love for, let's say, many things, but most of all, man, just the healing. And that's what I aim to do. I aim to heal, as much as I can, when it comes to using love. You know, I aim for healing. That's my ideal. It's I set out for, you know, I set out to heal on most things. So yeah, that's really what that is. So anyway, we have reached the conclusion of this episode. Thank you for checking out another show, listening to another pod. If you're listening to it, or you know what I mean, like if you're listening to it versus watching it on Facebook and YouTube. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Be sure to share with your friends. Start the conversation. Ponder on what was said. See how it applies to your life. And yeah, use your love to heal. What else? That's it. I'm Romy Mac. This is Ask Rome, and I'm out. Good night, kids. What's your relationship like with shame these days? All right, well, my relationship with shame is still prevalent from time to time. I do my best not to promote it, not to put it out there, but yeah, you know, there's shame about things, but shame only holds up, as Brene Brown said, behind, you know, it only holds up behind you, not in front of you. So I try to find out what recognize the feeling of shame. What am I feeling shame about today? How do I get over this thing? Why am I feeling attached to this thing? Why do I feel like it's my identity? It's not my identity. You know, I'm just experiencing life like everybody else, to not attach myself to it, but recognizing like I feel shame because I wasn't there as much for my kid as she was growing up. I feel shame because there were things that I could have done better this time. I feel shame because I got caught with my pants down, figuratively and literally, on various things, and I feel shame because I did not know something. I feel shame because I did not have something. Whatever that is. There's just this. The connection is revealing to heal. I think that's really what's important, is recognizing, revealing to heal is very key. So trying to just point out the accountability mirror. Like, what the hell do you have to feel ashamed about? And as if you are less than human, you know? And it creeps up on us all. You want that validation from somebody else instead of focusing on yourself. If you focus on yourself, you ain't got time for shame. But when you want that okay, you're still looking for it, you're doing a good job, Romy type shit in life from your peers, really just waiting for that external love from your parents. I think that's really what it is. But it's not required. It's nice to have, of course, but it's not required. You know, it's like I don't know, bumpers at the bowling alley. I can still hit a strike without the bumpers. And I mean, the bumpers help, don't get me wrong, you get more strikes with fucking bumpers, but it's not required to get the strike. And it takes time to process that, to program your brain to believe that I don't require the bumpers in life anymore. I can hit this strike, and it's okay if I do go in the gutter. I'm still lovable after I throw something in the gutter. But you just work at it. You continue to work at it. You aim to score. You aim to win. You aim to get as many strikes as you can in life. But be grateful when you hit one pen too. Be grateful when it's a gutter. Just practicing gratitude. But shame, shame will have you, and like I was very, very depressed at one point in time. Throughout my 20s, there was a lot of shame. There was a lot of, especially watching porn and shit like that. It heightens your shame right there. For a long time, I didn't even tell anybody I was watching, excessive porn the way that I was. But it's helped decrease that, and it's no longer like a secret. It's just like me embracing what the fuck I do, when I do that. Embracing who I am in the moment, because obviously it's a very fluid concept, but just learning to live in the present moment and not trying to fit the mold of what somebody wants you to be. And that can be challenging because when you don't feel like you've lived up to your parents' validation, you can feel shame. And we sometimes look through people, our friends, people we come around, through the lenses like they're our parents. And we need their validation, and you don't require that. We're just all, grown-ups after a while. Once you get older, you become a grown-up and you live life the way you want to. You want to, not the way somebody else wants you to. So sometimes we people please. We try to do what people want us to do, and we don't have to. That's how you learn about unconditional love. Don't get me wrong, unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance, but it's also like being able to stand firm in what you believe in, the lifestyle you want to live and the things you want to do. It's tough, man, because you're used to people running out on you when they don't get their way, when things change. But it's like learning to kind of embrace that and see people for who they are and recognize that they're still lovable. And I'm just recognizing that now as I'm saying it out loud. Really. But my relationship with shame is pretty much the same, a little bit more mature. Not as detrimental of using the word against me, but it's recognizing when I do feel shame to acknowledge shame, talk about it, because it can only hold up, behind you, not in front of you. So that's my relationship with shame.